Welcome back to D&J React, where music sparks conversation.
Every day.
In today's conversation, we have how BTS teamwork makes the dream work and why most boy bands don't last. We're about to find out right now. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in.
Let's go.
Recently, the nsync members reunited after 20 years to release an OST for an animated film. And I came across a clip of an interview where they say something that caught my attention.
Yeah, One Direction's an amazing band, but you have 5 guys that are amazing singers and great soloists. So when they come out and do songs, it's like you fight over where is this going to be. We kind of knew we sucked at singing certain things. We fell into our spots and we knew our place. You know, it was like I knew I'd be the high stuff, these guys would do the leads, Joey would be in the middle, and Lance would be on the bass. It was a lot easier since we started with a sound rather than 5 amazing vocalists. I mean, not to say we're not, but I just did.
I don't completely disagree with everything they are saying, but
like
all of this did make me think for a while. Is it possible to have a vocal group in which all the members are extremely good singers? Does a group can only have 1 or 2 frontmen or frontwomen to last? Does this apply to BTS, the current biggest group in the world? These are their main points. And remember that this is not about bands. It's about vocal groups, in which all the members' instruments are their voices. Number 1, it's easier to start with a sound rather than individual vocals. Number 2, group members that fall into their spots and know their place, like nsync, work smoothly. Number 3, when all the members of a group are great soloists, like One Direction, they're going to fight for the spotlight, creating conflict. Let's take this apart. And yes, this is going to be one of those videos in which I overanalyze one small piece of content because why not? The first point is that it's easier to start with a sound rather than individual vocals. I agree with this. This is actually how BTS started. Hip-hop and R&B were their first big inspirations. The vocal line singing in harmony and the rap line taking turns for the rap parts were very present in their first trilogy of albums known as the School Trilogy. With time, each member started finding their own sound and leading certain songs. With even more time, every member started having solo songs in both BTS's albums as well as in their own solo projects. So I totally agree. It's easier to start with sound rather than individual vocals. But you cannot do this forever. It can become repetitive and boring, not only for the public but for the members themselves. That's why Cher and nsync lasted longer than One Direction, but they also broke up relatively early in their careers. Another one of their points is that One Direction didn't work out because they were all amazing singers from the beginning. But in my opinion, One Direction did not start with 5 amazing individual vocalists. They actually started with one sound, just like nsync did. This sound not evolving was Zayn's main motivation to leave the group. Zayn wanted to do more R&B, but his songs and even his natural voice recordings were always rejected. So starting with sound is fine, but the sound needs to evolve. Especially with boy bands, members start young, so it's unnatural to maintain the same sound forever. In the case of BTS, they've been over a decade together because they allowed themselves to evolve their sound. Sure, the classical BTS R&B harmonies from their School Trilogy are still present in their songs, but it's not all they do. As soloists and as a group, they do more genres and sounds than any other group I've seen in my life. Number 2, group members that fall into their spots and know their place work smoothly. It's okay to start with a sound in mind, but that usually comes with certain roles. That's what nsync said. One did the high notes, one did the bass, one was at the center, etc. But I don't think you can...
They were on like some TV show or whatever, and nsync, those guys that one guy was like, yeah, all of us aren't that great of singers. They were like sitting on the couch in an interview, and they all were talking about some like thing they all did together, but they didn't invite that guy that was like talking shit about like everybody.
They didn't want him involved.
They didn't invite him, and he had to find out on the show that they all hung out together without him.
Damn.
I was like, that's messed up, dude.
Kicked him to the curb.
Pretty much.
Realistically fall into your same spot forever. That is exactly why most Western groups disband early. Knowing your place in the group can help a lot to prevent conflicts related to performing. It's a very professional stance, but it can and it will almost definitely limit growth. Because at the end of the day, the nsync members can talk all they want about their group working out, but they only lasted 2 more years in One Direction, and they did end up breaking up because Justin was secretly planning a solo career. Their words, not mine. Of course, One Direction's breakup carried more conflict than NSYNC's breakup. But just because NSYNC took the most professional way of doing things doesn't mean that this is the best way and the best outcome a group can have. They are simply not a good example for longevity.
So
in
big back in
K-pop,
the
they
day.
will be considered just one more group victim of the 7-year curse. Falling into your spot and knowing your place in the group are things extremely common in K-pop. Each member falls into a very specific category. Lead vocal, main vocal, sub vocal, lead rapper, main rapper, sub rapper, lead dancer, main dancer, etc. Western boy bands don't have these exact names, but groups like nsync follow a similar structure. So if it's not working with Western groups and it's not working with K-pop groups, why do you still think that this is the correct way of doing things? Maybe K-pop companies notice this, because with time and whether K-pop fans want to admit it or not, with the increased global popularity of BTS, it became less common for the members of a K-pop group to have designated positions. Maybe this is because when BTS debuted in America, there was not really a recognizable main guy or a main rapper or a main dancer.
Already.
They all dance and they all perform. So the response by K-pop companies was to debut groups in which all the members are almost the same artist. They have a similar color of voice, a similar personality, a similar vocal range, a similar dancing ability, and even a similar appearance. I'm not saying that this is good or bad. In my opinion, it can work sometimes, but other times it's just boring, especially for a Western audience that likes finding a unique trait in each member of a group. All the members of a group not overpowering each other doesn't mean that they have to be the same. With BTS, there's no uniformity, there's cohesion. They are all very different people with very different skill sets. Each of them plays a unique role in the group, just like NSYNC said they did. But their positions are not set in stone because their sound is also not set in stone. A variety of sounds allows each member to find a wider variety of voices. With each sound they do, they rotate their positions in the group, even inspiring them to try new sounds in their solo projects. In 2013, no one would have thought that RM would release acoustic songs in which he only sings, or that Jin would choose to dance full choreographies in his solo songs, or that J-Hope would choose to release...
That's the one thing I respect about them is when most other boy bands do something solo on their own and they get that like recognition by themselves, they're like, oh, like I can break off from them and do this on my own.
No, they don't.
Yeah, like BTS never
But
did that.
they always say their name from BTS.
From BTS, yeah. They have mad respect for each other. That's what I love.
A rockier sound in which he doesn't dance. This is the benefit of not just falling into your spot. It's important to recognize what you bring to the table, but longevity will come when you allow the members to find more than one skill they can bring to the group. Number 3. When all the members of a group are great soloists, they are going to fight for the spotlight, creating conflict. This comes with the assumption that in a group, there has to be a lead role. And if every member fits the lead role because all of them are extremely talented, the other positions will be forced and unnatural. This point was my main motivation to make this random video, because I disagree. Each BTS member has proven over the years that they are amazing soloists, and I believe that's exactly what sets them light years apart from other boy bands or K-pop groups.
I think in Korean culture too, it's different from Western culture where it's individualism over here and everybody's just wants to do their thing on their own and separate from everybody, and over there it's like
collectivism,
stick together, help
work
each
together.
other, work together.
I agree.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Trying to say that there's not a single group apart from BTS in which all the members are capable of being amazing soloists. But what I am saying is that they are not successfully bringing those unique talents to their groups. I've talked before about K-pop's attempt of a supergroup, which is formed with members successful as solo artists or as members of other groups. But I believe that one of the many reasons they did not work out artistically is because they will kind of lower their abilities to match each other in songs that don't favor them, instead of being different unique pieces of an interesting puzzle. In my opinion, that is the only way a group full of talented artists can work. A good non-K-pop related example is Pentatonix. By themselves, they have different solo careers, and together, they are probably the most successful a cappella group, and they've been active for more than 12 years. When they are a group, each of them brings something to the table. Like nsync recommended, each of them has their own position: tenor, baritone, soprano, percussion, and bass. But their variety of of sounds allows all of the members to be at the center and be the backing vocals at some point or another. When a very talented artist is surrounded by other very talented artists, there has to be selflessness. You will have your moment to shine, and you will have to help your teammates shine as much as you. This is the only way I've seen supergroups truly work. For example, BTS's first Grammy performance was thanks to RM's work as a solo artist. The nominated song was Old Town Road, and only RM performs in one of the remixes. But he decided to share his 50 seconds in the song with all of the BTS members. I'm not sure other group members would have been selfless enough to lift their groups along with them. But for BTS, this is a common practice. Each BTS solo career are 7 different opportunities for them to redirect audiences to BTS as a supergroup project, especially in recent years. When they promote as solo artists, they always introduce themselves as a member of BTS.
I go by the name RM of BTS.
안녕하세요, BTS입니다.
저는 슈가이죠.
I'm Jay Hall from BTS.
I'm Jimin of BTS.
He's
If only one member is
soft
part of a
spoken.
collaboration with another artist,
Yeah, that's
most times
respect
they will
right
make
there.
BTS's name visible one way or another. This was the case
that
of
song.
Soul Town Road and BTS's first Grammy performance in 2020. It was a song by Lil Nas X, RM, and BTS, although only RM performed in the digital version. Suga's interlude, in which only Halsey and Suga perform, is a song by Halsey, Suga, and BTS. Left and Right, in which only Charlie Puth and Jungkook sing, is a song by Charlie Puth, Jungkook, and BTS. When BTS is not a featured artist in a collaboration, they will sometimes add member of BTS. Angel Part 1 and 2 are songs by Jimin of BTS. Lilith is a song by Suga of BTS. Rush Hour is a song by J-Hope of BTS. My point is that BTS takes the phrase teamwork makes the
That
dream
branding
work
too.
very seriously. Of course, the why of this is another story, but in summary, their lack of opportunities and
Damn.
constant struggles in the industry allowed
That's
them
so
to find
impressive,
out that
dude.
together
I know.
they are stronger. Their increasing success proved them right.
The thing that that made me like BTS, that like really made me fall in love with them as men, was when they went to that old lady's house and like sat with her, like brought her stuff, you know, brought her food and sat
They were
there
like
and
cleaning
helped.
the house. They were doing her blinds
They were, like
and
painting
stuff.
for her. And then they like sat there afterwards and talked to her and hung out with her for a little bit. I was
That
like,
was
wow,
impressive.
dude, for some famous people to take the time to do that, that's awesome.
So even today with their solo projects, they are constantly creating opportunities and visibility for their team. But this selflessness goes beyond their group projects, because for them, this is more a mindset than a strategy. Even when they are performing with other artists who are not part of BTS, they still maintain their teamwork mindset. This tweet says something interesting about BTS's selflessness as performers. I saw a clip of a K-idol singing a song impromptu with a soloist. He was good. He had the skill. He had the technique. The crowd was awed at his performance. The girl he was singing with, usually a good singer, seemed to be trying to keep pace. It played like a battle between two vocalists trying to best each other, with the audience passively receiving what's being dished out to them. Like this Twitter thread mentions later, J-Hope of BTS gave J. Cole a space to shine in their collaboration. This
was
is
a good
J-Hope's
song.
song.
Yeah, it was really
He
good.
is doing the promotions. He is doing the performances by himself. But he still gave J. Cole the spotlight. And BTS does this with every artist they collaborate. They make the featured artist one more member of BTS. I think this is more than just being respectful. When a collaboration or a group look more like a competition rather than a union of talents, it shows. So I agree that it's very hard for groups to work out when they are all extremely talented. But BTS has shown that it's not impossible. When groups in which every member is a star truly prioritize teamwork, the results will always include success. But there has to be real teamwork. There has to be real selflessness. Just think about all of the BTS members doing their mandatory
Damn, he looks so
military
different
service
with no
together.
hair.
The younger members don't have to go for another 3 or 4 years. But since it
clean
was
cut for the
time for
military.
Jin to go, then they are all going now. This way, they can all reunite as soon as possible. You may think this is obvious, but no other K-pop group has done this. They always wait until each of them reaches the age when they have to go. They prioritize their personal
I
interests,
can't wait until
which
they come
I'm not
back to
saying
see
is
what
bad,
they do
but
and what
it
they
does show
create from that
BTS's unique
experience.
teamwork. In conclusion, I mostly agree with what's being said in this clip. It can be a lot easier to focus on sound rather than individual vocals. It's true that group members that fall into their spots and know their place tend to work smoothly. It's true that when multiple members of a group are great soloists, they are most probably going to fight for the spotlight. But I think all of this being true most of the time makes BTS an even more impressive musical act. Against all odds, they overcame every obstacle. They survived their first years with not many opportunities. They became the biggest group in an industry that only allows groups from big agencies to be at the top. They made a name for themselves in an industry that doesn't truly welcome foreign music. They paved the way for Korean artists to have global visibility. And they remain as proof that being in a group does not automatically mean talented people being limited. When done correctly and sincerely, the members of vocal groups can bring the best of each other and create art that relates
Nobody's
to many.
arrogant. Nobody has an attitude.
They have so much trust in each other and stuff. They're not trying to outdo and outperform each other. They want to make it like a collective, and have fun.
Well, I think their situation compared to like nsync, Backstreet Boys, all the other ones is that they grew up together.
Yeah.
From young. They were literally like brothers living
14,
together,
15.
doing everything together, taking care of each other. So it was a completely different bond and vibe.
Well, the culture is different too.
Well, that too. But I just mean they were so tightly bonded together, whereas like these other bands were just kind of thrown together, go make music.
Right.
There was no real connection between the guys,
really
other than competition within themselves to do better than the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas BTS, it was build each other up.
Yeah, it's a slower process for sure, but it's a more sustainable process.
Exactly.
With what BTS is done.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying, with them coming back from the military, it'll be interesting to see what types of songs they actually create, if it's going to be more like political based,
or
because now they're in the military, they're seeing war firsthand, behind the scenes of everything, of the government, how things work politically. I wonder if they'll move in that direction.
I mean, it'll be really interesting to see for sure. It'll be interesting too to see if their sound changes, the tune of everything that they do. If it's going to be a more serious tone, or if they're going to be ecstatic to just be out and be free again.
Just be free again, just have fun.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, man. I'm really excited, but I want to give a shout out to Boracity because she always puts together
She's phenomenal.
very, very impressive work.
Yes.
So go give her a like, a subscribe. She deserves it. She's freaking awesome. If you guys want more content on BTS, go to Boracity. Also X Celeste. Who else? Who else has
Rice Squad. We just did Rice Squad.
Really good. Bookish Theories too.
We got a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of good ones out there.
TV. Yeah, we could go on for days.
Go follow any of those people if you want like deep dives like this into BTS. And if you want exclusive content that's not on YouTube, go over to our Patreon. We got a ton of exclusive BTS content over there. We're giving 7 days away for free and a 15% discount.
That's awesome.
When you sign up for the whole entire year. Also, if you could help your boys out, we really need help on GoFundMe with our computer. It's dying. You guys did help us out. I appreciate that. We got our microphone.
Yes.
We got another microphone as well. But yeah, the computer is like the business. That's like what helps us get these videos out, and they've been corrupted and getting
they're just really bad. The audio won't sync with the video. I'm sure you guys have seen some of them lately where it's just really getting bad, and it's getting hard to like get these videos out in a good quality like production. So we do need your help, please.
Yeah, if you could jump over to GoFundMe and help your boys out, we would much appreciate it. And also thank you guys so much for watching and sticking around. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.